welcome to Book Buzz, brought to you by Peters Township Public Library. I am Miss Shannon.
Okay, so this is the second time you've had to say that this year. And I'm Miss Linda. And this episode, we're here to do some book talking.
Yes, because it is a book buzz.
It is a book buzz. We're doing book talking and sharing some ideas to get you started on your reading for the new year.
Yeah.
And we've got ideas always.
Yes.
Always. So, who's going first? We both have nice stacks.
You can go first.
Thank you. Well, the first one I'm going to go with is because I didn't get a chance to talk about it at the last episode. It is my book club, my tween book club choice, and it is An Elephant in the Garden. So I just wanted to tell you about this, even if you are not going to read it for book club. It's a very short, sweet, quick story based on a true story. The bombing of Dresden looms ahead, and Lizzie's mother, a zookeeper, persuades the zoo director to allow Marlene, a young elephant that has bonded with Lizzie and her younger brother Carl, to be kept safe in their garden. But their home is destroyed when bombs are dropped, so the family and Marlene have no choice but to flee with thousands of others in the dead of winter. Though, how can they walk the same route and keep themselves safe from approaching Russian soldiers with an elephant in tow? Based on a true story.
That's awesome.
I know. Michael Morpurgo, and he is also the best-selling author of War Horse. Couldn't say that. War Horse.
Which I believe is also based on a true story.
Yeah. I like his.
So I think elephants are fascinating. Mm-hmm. They really are. Mm-hmm. I remember reading Water for Elephants years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really
that was a book club.
I'd like to have an elephant.
Okay. Can I just ask you something? How did that work for you?
Yeah, you haven't had one yet. But I mean, these kids have one in their backyard, so
I know. Yeah.
But they're like gentle giants, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I look forward to the conversation.
Yeah.
An Elephant in the Garden. Okay.
Very cool.
That's a good choice to start off your January reading.
So our January book club, and I talked about this in the December episode because our book club tends to fall in the beginning of the month, was 10 Blind Dates. And this, I know the year has just started, but this is my favorite book I read so far this year out of the two.
Okay.
And so much so that I listened to this mostly through Hoopla. Which is a free service we have through the library, and discovered, I didn't know this, there's a sequel. So the sequel is called 10 Truths and a Dare. So 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston so this girl, she gets dumped right before Christmas, and she goes to stay at her Nona's house, which is like her grandmother, for the holidays. And her mother is one of 8 kids. So Nona is the mother of 8 children, and Nona's house is always crazy. Like there's always a niece or a nephew or an aunt or a cousin. Somebody is always in the house. So she goes and stays with her, and when she arrives, she's just sitting on her grandmother's steps crying, and her grandma says, let's make you feel better. So all the aunts and uncles and cousins decide to set her up on 10 blind dates. And so each chapter is a different date that she goes on. And now there's one group of cousins that they all call the Evil Joes because they're these twins and they're evil. So their date that they send her on is really like not so great, right? And so they're hilarious. So our book club is going to be discussed since the very beginning of January. But then I also recommend you can go ahead and grab, I don't have a physical copy of it here, but it's called 10 Truths and a Dare. And that follows more so, this main character in this book is Sophia. This follows Sophia's cousin Olivia. But Sophia and Olivia are very close. So they're both characters are in both books very frequently. And Olivia so this takes place about, let's say 6 months after this book. Because it takes place around college or high school graduation, and Olivia is supposed to be the salutatorian, but then found out she's not going to graduate because she didn't actually finish her PE credit. So she's like scrambling around. So it's called 10 Truths and a Dare. So how they are all how these cousins are all banding together to try to cover up all this trouble she got herself into by not finishing PE. And how they're going to make it work. So each chapter is a truth and a holiday party she has to graduation party she used to go to. So really, really cute, really quick reads by Ashley Elston, and I've really been enjoying them. And we do have the ABC challenge going on at the library through Beanstack. We encourage you to read a book from every title, every letter of the alphabet. So a book that starts with the letter A, a book that starts with the letter B, and so on, and a book that starts with a number.
Oh, there you go.
So there's your number right there.
There's your 10, and here's your
E. Yep, there's 2.
Got those covered.
All right.
All right.
Next.
So the rest of my books are based on New Year's. In that last episode that we talked, New Year's resolutions. And one of the resolutions that you brought up that wasn't on the list as the 4 top was to read more.
Right.
And I think that's a wonderful resolution.
Right, which is why I think this reading challenge is a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So with that in mind, I thought, okay, let's read more, but how about while we're reading, like I know we read for enjoyment and, different genres and stuff, but learning something.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put that together too. And actually these could be part of the ABC thing. So, all right, my first thought was, let's learn about a person.
Okay.
Famous, alive, dead, whatever, a person. So I randomly picked, this would be an A for Alexander Hamilton.
Or would it be a W?
For the who was? Mm-hmm. Whichever letter you need. If you need an A, you call it Alexander Hamilton. If you need the W, who was? Yeah.
Alexander Hamilton.
I know, we love that musical. So who was Alexander Hamilton? An orphan from the West Indies, the first Secretary of the Treasurer, and a founding father of the United States. So if you are, only if you would, I hate to say this, but you live under a rock would you not know of Alexander Hamilton, especially after the success of the Broadway show, and yeah. So.
Yeah, Emma wore her Hamilton onesie yesterday, actually.
Oh, did she? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. So this is giving you just an idea of.
Okay, you can learn about somebody.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. And there's your W or your A. All right, so moving on, this is the letter D. This is a brand new book for teens called Drizzle Dreams and Love Struck Things. I really like the illustrations on the cover. I definitely do judge a book by its cover, but it is.
I do sometimes too, and though you're not supposed to.
Right, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
So this is about 2 sisters. They grew up helping their father navigate the bustle of the Songbird Inn, which is located in the Orca Islands in the Pacific Northwest. The inn has always been warm and cozy and filled with interesting guests, the perfect home. But things are about to heat up now that the Songbird Inn has been named the most romantic inn in America. Nidhi has everything planned out until an autumn storm brings a wayward tree crashing into her life, and along with it, an intriguing construction worker and a yearning for her motherland. Suddenly, she's questioning everything she thought she wanted. Avani, the other sister, can't sit still. If she does, her grief for her Pop, her dad's late husband, will overwhelm her. So she keeps moving as much as she can, planning an elaborate winter ball in Pop's memory, until a blizzard traps her in a barn with the boy she accidentally stood up and has been actively avoiding ever since.
Oh.
Sirsa loves seeing the world through her camera, but her shyness prevents her from stepping out behind the lens. Talking to girls is such a struggle. When a pretty actress comes to Songbird with her theater troupe, spring has sprung for Sirsa, if only she could find the words. Rainey is a hopeless romantic. So this goes back and forth between being about all 4 of these sisters. I thought originally it was twins, but it's actually the four girls.
Okay.
And their teen romance. Okay. After gently nudging her sisters to open their hearts, she is convinced she is finally her turn for true love. When 2 potential suitors float in on a summer breeze, Rani is swept in by the grandeur to match her wildest Bollywood dreams. But which boy is the one she's meant to be with? Ultimately, the magic of the Songbird Inn leads to the tight-knit Sin sisters to new passions and breathtaking kisses to unearth the truest versions of themselves. This is recommended for fans of Jenny Han's To All the Boys Loved Before series.
Oh, yeah.
Which was also made into the Netflix movies. So super, super cute teen romance, brand new for this year by Maya Prasad. Different cultures in there too, so that's kind of nice.
It is.
Yes, so Drizzle Dreams and Love Struck Themes. So there is a D.
There you go.
Multiple
Lots
Ds
of
in that
Ds.
title. Yes.
And while you were reading about that and I was thinking about all of this, even though, we're from the Youth Services Department and that's what we come in, to talk about, these can be read by any age group.
Yes.
There are a lot of adults that read young adult books, but also for if you want to come in and learn something quickly. It reminds me of, and I know I've talked about it in here before, that Jeopardy champion.
I brought it up before with people too.
Yeah, I love bringing it up when the Jeopardy champion, I think it was James Holhauser. I think it might have been him. Well, I'm a Jeopardy, I love Jeopardy. And he won millions. I mean, he was phenomenal, and asked how he did it. And like I said, I think it was him, but it was one of them. How he did it is he hung out in libraries, but in the Youth Services Children's Department, and learned there. And he just read everything that he could. And his reasoning was, when you get into adult books, especially like nonfictions, they get a lot thicker, a lot more words to say what they try to say very simply and quickly in a children's version of it, so that you can easily learn bits and pieces. Maybe not every fine detail, but
the facts and facts.
But the facts that you need to learn. So this is not just for children. So having said that, I thought about, okay, well, what about learning about a different country? And learning about a different country would take in, learning all about them. This happens to be living in Italy. So you could take care of your I or your L, living in Italy. And then once you learn all about Italy by Chloe Perkins, then you can go further. Like, they talk in here about some of the things that they do in Italy. Move on, you can learn the language, which we have for free on Mango Languages as one of our resources. For being a library patron, you can get on there. Or let's just jump into the important stuff. Learn how to cook some Italian dishes. F is for festive foods. Festive foods. You can eat all these wonderful. So, I mean, even in here, it's more than just a cookbook. In Festive Foods Italy, Sylvia Golding, it talks about different things of Italy as well. It's not just food, but how they grow it, where they live, what the different things
facts
are.
And stuff too about the culture. Yeah.
So there you go. Take on a new country.
All right. Well, another good thing you can do in the new year is revisit or try a new to you series.
Ooh.
So in 2009, James Dashner released the Maze Runner, which became a quick bestseller and has been made into movies, and very, very popular series about this boy. And he wakes up and he's in this like elevator, like metal, like kind of like an elevator. I don't know how to better describe it. And he's trapped in there, and he has no recollection of his family, his parents, his home, anything. His memory is just blank, and when the doors open of this elevator, he is in this like open, they call it the glade, this large expanse of space enclosed by stone walls. He meets other kids that are also just trapped in there. And they knew he was coming because every month, like the same date, every month, this new kid shows up. So they knew he was going to come, but no one knows who they are, why they're there, how they got there, how they can get out. Now there is this maze attached to this space that they're at, so they feel like if they can figure out how to get through this maze, then maybe they can find their way home, wherever that is. Well, the day after he's dropped in there, a girl shows up, and they're like, first of all, there's never been a girl in here, and we're not supposed to have anybody for another month. So now what does that mean? So that goes on the story with the Maze Runner. And so there was, I believe, 3, maybe, I think it's a trilogy, the Maze Runner. Well,
I can't remember.
Maybe this will tell us. Because now, released in 2022, was The Maze Cutter. And this takes place 73 years after the events of the last Maze Runner book. So
yeah,
I don't know if the characters are going to be revisited, because obviously Thomas, the main character, and that would be very old by that time. But
Yeah.
So it takes the Maze Runner series continues with this one. So yep, 73 years after the events of the Death Cure, which is the last book of the Maze Runner series, when Thomas and the other immunes were sent to an island to survive the flare-triggered apocalypse, their descendants have thrived.
Okay.
So this is about their
That makes
descendants.
sense.
So this was written in 2022. So new release, brand new. We just got it at the end of the year. So if you were a fan of the Maze Runner, or maybe you're now intrigued, you can go and read those books and then come and read this new book that takes a new series that he has just released that takes place 73 years later.
Cool. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the descendants.
Yeah, right, for sure.
All right, moving on with my New Year's resolution ideas. So one of the New Year's resolutions they talked about was getting more exercise. So I thought, okay, let's learn a new sport. And we've got that tennis courts and bubble right by the library. And I love this book. This is brand new. We're just, it hasn't been cataloged to be checked out yet. It's called Be the Best at Tennis. But we have plenty of tennis books available. So I thought, okay, let's learn a new sport. And again, you look at these pictures, these aren't exactly childish pictures, if you wanted to
learn how yourself.
to just learn,
Anyone can. I don't know how to play.
Yeah, I used to be able to play.
Yeah.
I used to, and then I got like tennis elbow, and I had to quit for a while, and never really picked it back up.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I liked it. Not that I was good at it. I was never. I like doing a lot of different things. That doesn't mean I was ever good at any of them. I'm like jack of all trades. I can do a little bit of a lot of things, but not good at one thing. So, yeah, get out there, bounce some balls, learn some tennis.
Yeah, and
All
if
right.
you are visiting the tennis courts, make sure before or after you stop at your local library and come and grab a book.
No brainer.
Yes, you don't even
We'll
have to
have it
move
ready
your
for
car.
you
We're in
here.
the same parking lot.
Yep.
All right. Well, I have another one. This is I pulled this out for our holiday episode, and I decided to still bring it in anyways because I just love this story. It does take place over Christmas, so if you are still like kind of in the spirit, or not, but whatever, it doesn't. You don't have to necessarily be in the Christmas spirit to read a book that takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
This is called Let It Snow, and it is 3 short stories by 3 popular YA authors: John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. And I had so much fun reading this, and they've actually made this into a movie as well. And there's not many books out there for teens that are about the holiday season, so that's why I still had them in my bin. But anyways, so this one, it is 3 short stories, but then they all intertwine. So the characters somehow interact with one another, kind of, or it all takes place in the same day. I believe it's Christmas Eve. And what happens to all these different groups of people and how they all kind of come together. So you can read one story by itself and it'll make perfect sense, and you can just be like, okay, cool, I'm done. I originally, that was my thought process because I really liked John Green at the time, and so I was like, I'm just gonna read his. But then if you go and read the other ones, they all do connect. It's really, really funny. There's a little bit of romance involved. It is a really, really cute collection of short stories. So Let It Snow. I was just thinking about this and decided, I'll just talk about it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's a
It
good
was
one.
snowing outside when we came.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So my next thing, and this is really cool too, is so starting. Oh, thank you. We keep finding confetti from the last episode. How about learn like a new game or broadening your mind? Because if you learn chess is a really mind-opening game. It's tough. It takes strategy, and if you get good at it, ask Mr. Pete. He runs a program for us, and I want to say he runs one in the third Tuesday of every month, a chess program for kids, and then the second Wednesday at, I want to say 1:30, he runs that afternoon adult chess program, and that fills too. It's
Yeah.
been exciting. So you can come, and especially the adult one too, he made sure that it's really made more for beginners, you know, that you kind of know the basics of it and want to learn more and more and get better and better at it.
Yeah.
And
Lucas learned how to play chess over the holiday break.
oh, did he?
My dad taught him. I didn't know my dad knew how to play chess. My dad
Yeah.
never taught me or my brother how to play chess, but somehow
Yeah.
in his brain, he still remembers how to play chess from whenever he learned it,
Wow.
probably 50 or more years ago.
Wow.
And he taught Lucas over the holiday break.
That's
so
cool.
Lucas is interested in doing the chess class
And
in the
there's-
library now.
You know what? As much as we have books and we have this DVD, I love this title, Learn Chess in 30 Minutes.
Okay, cool.
You know, I mean, we don't have a ton of time here, but if you could sit down for a half hour
Yeah.
and learn a game, at least to get you started.
Yeah.
You're not going to be a professional, I don't think, at that point, but you'll get
Yeah.
going. You know, we've got so many good options for learning.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say, one of the websites that we use at the library for Mr. Pete, chess.com, where you can do live playing and there's puzzles and things for them to be able to play against a computer to learn everything. And he uses that we support for him. So, yeah. All right. Learn chess.
Yeah. Very cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have one more. This is
Okay.
another brand new, hot off the presses. I try to bring
Oh.
books from different cultures this time. So this
Okay.
one is Briarcliff Prep, and it's about these girls that go to this boarding school, which to me, that's a different thing because I'm not really familiar with that. I mean, I think of like, you know, The Facts of Life, which no one in this room besides you probably knows that TV
I
series.
know what that series is. Yep.
You know, or, you know, Harry Potter is technically like a boarding school, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't really know that's not really my world, right?
Yeah.
So these girls go to Briarcliff Prep. And so the younger sibling goes and her other siblings already belong to this school. And it's kind of how she transitions into, you know, living in this school away from. So 14-year-old Avi LeBeau it's turned to do what everyone in her family has done, leave home to attend Briarcliff Prep, a historically black boarding school. And as scared as she is to say goodbye to her parents and move to Georgia, she knows her fearless big sister Belle will be there to show her the ropes. Before long, Avi settles into her life at Briarcliff, new friends and foes, challenging classes, at times too challenging, and maybe a cute tutor turned something more if her brothers don't get in the way. Meanwhile, Belle does what she always does. She runs the campus social scene, especially now that she's dating Logan, the pride and joy of Briarcliff's sibling school, Preston Academy. But something about Logan doesn't sit well with Avi, no matter how many times Belle reassures her that Logan is a good guy. And when Avi stumbles across the truth, her relationship with Belle is put to the test. If Avi reveals what she knows, their sisterhood might never recover. But if she doesn't, she might lose Belle forever. This is a debut novel, so I'm always excited to hear about debut novels. And I believe this one was this is a debut novel as well. So, you know, try something new by a brand new author.
There you go.
You know,
Great New Year's resolution.
Yes, absolutely. So those are two brand new, like, teen romances from brand new authors.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. That's really cool. That would be fun. They sound good, too, you know. So then moving on, again, with the thought of like exercise. For me, my favorite thing right now, and or for years, and you can talk about my kids, and you know, if I would do something with them when they were younger and we'd get lost, I'd be like, oh, it's an adventure. You know, or we have to have another adventure. So I went the wrong way. Let's see what's over here and we'll get back on. You know, it just nothing ever really, it just shook me up. You just like, it's an adventure. So I thought about having adventures for the new year.
Okay.
So this one is one of many that we have. And we also have them that deal strictly with winter, which I could have brought, but I didn't. I brought this one, the big book of 100 outdoor activities. So to start, you know, thinking about doing things, you know, getting out, and especially right now. And again, you know, with it being January and getting cold, and you feel like you're stuck inside. Find some different things to do. And this one, there are some things that you do and you collect outside and bring inside and do, you know, like, you know, if you're collecting things or whatever.
Well, I saw them making mud pies, and don't you be bringing no mud pies into my house.
Yeah, well,
I'm not that kind of adventurous mother, I guess.
okay. No, that's why we do that stuff at the library. I love it when the moms come in and go, oh, we hate glitter. We don't want to, you know. And I said, that's why we do it here. There's not a mother that I know that likes glitter in their home because you can never get it all out.
No.
It's everywhere forever, which always reminds me of your husband.
Yeah, Justin's not a fan.
The worst.
He does not. He? Yeah, he does not like
so,
glitter at all.
Find some books for adventures, indoor adventures, outdoor adventures. Get out there and do things. You know, discover something new.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
Knock on Miss Shannon's door with a mud pipe.
You can have it in my yard, just not in my house.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
All right. Do you want to end with a tale?
Yeah, we got a tale. I already pulled it. Thank you. So thinking that, you know, January, the beginning of the year, another thing about the year, you know, it's a good time with not even just as a resolution, but just as a whole person to check your attitude, kind of.
Okay.
You know, check your attitude. Why don't you be a nice person this year? What do you think? Do you ever
I will do my best on that
work
one.
on that, would you?
Yeah.
You know, so by January 6th, you're screwed that up.
Yep, back to being a Scrooge.
So with that in mind, I picked out a book. It's called The Joyful Book by Todd Parr. Yeah, so we're going to be nice.
Hey, why don't you just be a nice person?
Yeah, just be a nice person. You know, there's nothing wrong. There's no reason to be mean and whatever.
That's true.
That's true. We were just talking about that, The Joyful Book. So go ahead and start.
Okay. Feeling joyful is when you are so happy you want to jump and shout with everyone you love.
Aw. Celebrating with family and friends is joyful.
Going on vacation is joyful.
Really joyful. Being close together is joyful.
Unwrapping presents is joyful.
Yeah, it is. Lighting candles is joyful.
Storytelling is joyful.
Yeah, we love that. Trying new things is joyful.
Having company over is joyful.
Aww.
Debatable.
Yeah. Depends on who the company is. I mean, yeah, it's joyful. Okay, watching a parade is joyful.
Rubbing noses is joyful.
Aw. Getting dressed up is joyful. That's too much. These pictures, you know, if you just even...
The hairdo, yeah.
They're just too bright and funny.
Giving is joyful.
Singing holiday songs is joyful.
Playing games is joyful.
Hugging is joyful.
Sending love to family and friends far away is joyful.
Sharing a meal is joyful.
Playing outside is joyful.
Learning new traditions is joyful.
Making yummy treats is joyful.
Visiting friends is joyful.
Decorating for the holiday is joyful.
Saying thank you is joyful.
Starting a new year is joyful.
So happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of your January. And we'll see you next time for all the February events at the Youth Services Department of your Peters Township Public Library.